All right, you both want to know the story of May and Valor. Well, here it is. Many years ago, before Aragorn was even a city, it was a lush, vibrant land filled with magic. And at the heart of it all was Valor, a magnificent dragon.
A dragon? Like a real one?
Very real. Valor wasn't just a dragon. He was a guardian of our people. His children called them and they saw him as a father, a god. Valor liked that. One day he saw a prophecy of a catastrophic event that would drown the land in water. So, out of love for the people, he sacrificed himself, turned into a crystal to protect them, and granted the monks their elemental powers.
Wait, so the monk's powers came from Valor himself as a crystal?
Exactly. But here's the twist. Every 1,000 years, someone unaffected by the magic will be born. A failsafe, they called it. That person's duty was to bring Valor back to his human form and set him free from the crystal.
That's where May came in?
Indeed, May is a failsafe child. But her tale doesn't begin there. You see, after the catastrophe came, the city remained safe thanks to Valor. The people of Valor, lulled into a false sense of security, twisted the narrative. They forgot the essence of the sacrifice, rewriting history to believe that Valor's sacrifice was eternal. The people who could not use magic became outcasts, bullied by the others. And that was exactly what happened to May.
So, no one saved Valor for all these years?
That's awful. What about the crystal? We read it was stolen and that May was assigned to find it.
Yes, she was. All the people in the city and the temple lost their precious powers, and they were unable to do anything without them. So May was the one who was strong because of her everyday practice and commitment, even though she could not use the four elements. And she left. In her quest to find the crystal, May uncovered a deeply unsettling truth. Valor has now transformed into his human form and was ensnared by cultists wielding dark magic, seeking to exploit his weakened state, so they could create a ritual that aimed to unleash a powerful ancient entity imprisoned within another realm. May fought them hard, and with a little help of Valor in the end, they triumphed. She freed him, and later on Valor revealed his story to her.
What did Valor say about all this? Was he angry?
He was feeling bitter for the people of the temple, how they betrayed him. But watching May saving him and standing there for him melted his heart. He felt the desire to live again. He shared that thought with her.
And what did May do?
May was facing a moral dilemma. Either she would persuade him to assist a city that had forgotten his sacrifice once more, or she would respect his desire for a peaceful existence. And she chose the second one.
She let him go?
Yes, returning to Valor empty-handed, May addressed her people with a stirring speech. She laid bare the greed of their ancestors, challenging them to break free from dependency on magical powers and embrace the resilience that came from hard work. May inspired a collective effort to reconnect with the elements, urging her people to learn and harness their own powers anew. At the beginning, she faced a lot of skepticism and resistance, but later on, her unwavering conviction prevailed. The people of Valor rallied behind her, fostering a renewed harmony with nature and the four elements. The monks, once again in tune with the forces around them, stood stronger than ever, ready to defend their home. May, living up to her title, Keeper of Valor, ensured the dragon's safety by setting him free, completing the cycle of sacrifice and renewal.
Oh, such an inspiring woman.
I knew she was destined for greater things. I knew it.
She is a wonderful woman indeed. And that is her missing story you were looking for. The rest is history. Now, Sionnach, you know everything about her, how she was able to leave her past behind and begin anew. And that's a lesson she also wanted you to learn. According to her, It was not your time to leave this world.
Wait, that means... Have you known about Sionnach since the beginning?
Of course. May would never shut up about her friends and the adventures they had. Everyone knows.
Everyone knows.
Rekindle that connection.
You know nothing about my past. Oh dear, my Leaky. I need to apologize to Kai.
It is not necessary, but he would appreciate that. For now, you both need rest. I'll see you all tomorrow in our last test. Good night.
I can do this. May thinks I can, so I will. Stepping into this chamber, the heat is making me feel nervous again. I can feel my heart in my ears as the flames are touching my bark like skin. As my feet touch the ground, I gasp immediately. A tingling, unpleasant sensation like a fiery kiss makes me limp. As I'm walking through what seems to be a canopy of a forest, the smells and sounds wake me up from what seems to be my worst nightmare. It does seem familiar, but my eyes are burning and everything seems blurry. I look around, trying to hold my breath, blinking fast so I can make up what I'm looking at. This isn't the chamber. This is my forest. How? No, this can't be real. No, it can't. I tried to run through this blue forest fire, sprint to find my way out. Everywhere I look, everywhere I turn, all I feel is pain. All I see are glimpses of the past, of the people I loved. I see their faces on the trees around me, burning, screaming for help, calling my name. No, shut up. Please, stop. Make it stop. You're not real. It's not my fault. I've tried to save you. Please, stop. Ah! The flames have covered me fully now. My flesh is burnt and sore. This pain cannot be forevermore. I can't remember how it feels not to feel pain anymore. Please make it stop. I fall to the ground. I see it. I can see it standing before me clearly now as my eyes turn completely blue from the reflections of the spell plague fire. My Leaky's tree. This has to be the way out. I tried to get myself up as I stumble on the burned soil. Walk, Sion. Keep moving. I force myself closer to the tree, and as I touch it, the pain stops. Time stops too. Suddenly, everything turns to dust right before my eyes. I collapse to the ground. No, I didn't do this. No, this can't be real. I'm not responsible for this distraction. All I did was to protect. I am furious. No, I won't accept this. I won't. The cycle of despair ends now. I'm done crying about this. I'm not afraid anymore. Nothing can hurt me more. Whoever did this, they will meet their fate. I will take back what is ours for my people. For May. For me. I am Sionnach Greenleaf, daughter of Zenarius and Toriel, my Leaky's chosen one, and I'm the only surviving dryad of this forest. I vow to restore balance to this land and to myself. Thank you, May. You freed me. I'm coming for you. I promise you that.
That was not an easy task, but you stayed strong. Just a few burns.
Kai, I'm sorry. You've been a great mentor and I lashed out at you.
Apology accepted. Panic makes us do and say things we don't mean. I understand. But at times like this, you need to stay focused and in control of your mind if you want to be able to help them. Many hardships await you and Lovette on your journey, but I am certain you will overcome them.
Thank you, Kai.
And now that the trials are over, what's next for our adventurers?
Our next stop is the Enchanted Isles, where the wizard Zephyros resides.
Zephyros? It's been so long since I've heard that name.
Sister Huali!
You didn't possibly think that you would leave the temple without saying goodbye, I've heard that you've passed the trials successfully.
Thanks to all of you.
Oh, don't steal credit from yourself. You were the ones who passed through them.
Sister, you said you know Zephyros.
Yes, Zephyros was an ambitious man, to say the least. He was born and grew up here. He believed that true power could only be attained through the essence of magic. We often clashed on this point.
And what did you believe?
I believed that nature and the body held all the answers we sought. That spirituality and wisdom could be found within ourselves, without the need for external forces. But Zephyros was adamant in his pursuit of magical knowledge.
It must have been difficult to disagree on such important beliefs.
Indeed. Our differences strained our friendship. Zephyros became increasingly obsessed with his research, delving deeper into arcane magic, until one day he left the temple, abandoning his training, and our friendship.
That must have been hard for you.
It was, but we cannot control the choices of others. Right, Sionnach? Zephyros chose his path, as we all must, and now he walks a different road. Maybe it was meant to be that way, We all have parts to play in this life. Perhaps his role is to aid you on your journey.
Indeed. We are so grateful for your aid.
Speaking of aid, before you depart, take this. This is water from the Lake of Valor. It holds potent healing properties. It should serve you well in your journey.
Thank you, Yura. This will be incredibly helpful.
Take care of yourselves out there. The Enchanted Isles are full of mysteries and dangers, but we have faith in both of you. You are stronger than you realize.
And remember, no matter what challenges you face, the strength you need resides within you. And Lovette, when you return home and reunite with your friends and family, may you do so with a heart full of stories and a spirit enriched by your experiences. Now that you know who you are, make sure you make others know it too.
I'll make sure of it.
And Sionnach, bring May back.
I will. I swear.
Welcome to another episode of the B&D podcast. In today's session, we are going to talk about dragon lore and mythology. Dragons have captivated human imagination for centuries, appearing in myths, legends, and fantasy literature across cultures worldwide. These majestic and awe-inspiring creatures are more than just mythical beasts. They symbolize power, wisdom, and often represent the eternal struggle between good and evil.
In this episode, we're going to delve into the rich content of dragon mythology, exploring their origins, their significance in ancient stories and legends, and their enduring presence in modern culture. Join us as we unravel the mystery surrounding these fascinating creatures and discover why dragons continue to fascinate and inspire us to this day.
But before we jump into our discussion, I need to mention the important and talented people who have participated in the last 4 episodes concluding the arc of the Valor Temple. For now, at least. It was our favorite arc by now, not only because of the lore, the music, the aesthetic, but because we also had the opportunity to collaborate with these awesome people. Christian Ledley as Kai, Andrea Guidry as Hua Li, and of course Maria Amelia Park as Yue. We can't thank you enough for your talent and contribution to these episodes, and we're looking forward to what's next. You will find all the information about them in our description box, so make sure to go and check them out and support their work.
You know, Val, I was wondering how we should begin this episode since it has so much lore and information. And I conclude that the best place to start is the beginning, the origins of the dragon's myths. So, dragons, these magnificent creatures, have captivated the imaginations of cultures around the globe for centuries, each civilization adding its own unique flavor to the mythos. However, dragons appear in the mythologies of various cultures dating back thousands of years. Dragon-like kin makes its appearance in the ancient Mesopotamia. While not explicitly described as dragons, ancient Mesopotamian myths feature serpent-like creatures such as the Babylonian Tiamat, a primordial goddess depicted as a dragon-like monster.
And later on, they also appear in ancient Egypt, circa 3000 BC, and the Egyptian mythology includes references to serpent-like beings, such as Apep, a giant snake representing chaos and disorder.
And later on, we see them in ancient China, 2000 BC, where they become so much popular, and there is no wonder for that, because dragons play a significant role in Chinese mythology from early times, symbolizing power, strength, and good fortune.
Later on, surprise, surprise, we've got Greece.
Woo!
Greece couldn't be left out from this magical journey of myths, since it is one of the top tiers to this. So, in Greek mythology, we've got creatures like the Hydra, or Hydra, a multi-headed serpent-like monster, and the serpent guardian Ladon, or Ladonas, who protected the golden apples in the Garden of Hesperides.
Not much later, dragons make their appearance in ancient India, 1000 BC, and let me tell you that Indian mythology includes references to serpent-like creatures known as Nagas, often depicted as semi-divine beings or deities associated with water.
And let's not forget about the Celts and the European dragons in general, such as the Red Dragon of Wales, which became a symbol of the country's flag, circa 5th to 15th century. The Red Dragon is associated with King Vortigern and Merlin from the Arthurian legend. We find texts about dragons through medieval monastic scripts and texts, but they also appear in legends and religious allegories. Dragons were often depicted as malevolent creatures that terrorized cities and villages and were hunted by men.
Oh, Merlin, that takes me back. Well, that is the reason we no wonder why dragons have captivated the human imagination for millennia. These mythical creatures show up in stories worldwide, and they often have similar traits. They're powerful, wise, and sometimes a bit scary. People have imagined dragons as guardians of nature and symbols of strength for centuries, but that depended on that culture, because each culture weaving its own unique narrative around these mythical beings.
And I know you've been researching a lot about Chinese mythology, is that right?
Yes, guilty, indeed. I volunteered for this since I have a soft spot. So, in Chinese mythology, dragons symbolize power, strength, and good fortune. Known as Long in Mandarin, the serpentine creatures are revered as benevolent forces of nature, controlling rainfall and guarding precious treasures. The Chinese dragon's long, winding body and whiskered face are iconic symbols of prosperity and harmony, but I want to know about European folklore, Val.
Well, in European folklore, dragons often represent malevolence and chaos, as we said, terrorizing villages and hoarding treasure in dark, forbidden lairs. These dragons, with their fearsome scales, bat-like wings, and fiery breath, embody the primal fears of medieval societies. Yet, they also serve as symbols of heroism, with valiant knights embarking on quests to slay this monstrous beast and restore peace to the land. Some people believe that the church used dragons and other mythical creatures in general as a way of demonizing the old ways, while saints were the saviors to every single story, creating a feeling of maybe trust to the new religion, Christianity, and a feeling of fear to paganism. Zephy, I think it's extraordinary that despite the church's attempt to demonize dragons back in the Middle Ages, they still stayed prominent in Celtic art and literature. Dragons symbolize wisdom and a strong connection with nature and the spirit realm, and also a kind of protection, since knights were adding them on their shields and armor. Plus, we can't forget how these specific dragons, the European dragons, still inspire modern literature and films to this day.
There was a controversy at that time, I see. The dragon groupies and the dragon haters. But I think it's interesting to mention that in Middle Eastern mythology, dragons take on a more enigmatic role, blending elements of benevolence and malevolence, known as jinn. These supernatural beings inhabit a realm between the physical and spiritual worlds, embodying both light and darkness. In Islamic folklore, dragons are often associated with wisdom and hidden knowledge, guarding ancient secrets and guiding seekers on spiritual journeys. Along these lines, we can see some common ground in these stories. And one common theme found across cultures is the idea of dragons as guardians or protectors, whether of sacred treasures, natural wonders, or maybe entire kingdoms.
Exactly. And I think that this portrayal highlights their dual nature as both threats to be feared and allies to be respected. Additionally, dragons frequently serve as catalysts of valor and conquest. But since we now have a better understanding of the dragon's origins, what about the types of the dragons that are there, Zephy?
That is also such a fascinating subject because there is a vast diverse array of types, each with its own unique attributes and abilities. So Western dragons, known for their massive size, formidable strength, and fiery breath, often symbolize power and danger. They are often depicted as guardians of vast treasures. In contrast, Eastern dragons, such as those found in Chinese mythology, are revered as symbols of wisdom, longevity, and auspiciousness. These serpentine creatures possess the ability to control the elements, bring rain, and even shape-shift into various forms.
That is actually quite cool. But let's not forget this lesser-known types of dragons known as wyverns that possess 2 legs instead of 4, and also the benevolent amphipteryrs, a type of dragonkin with a more serpentine body, known for their ability to fly high speeds and their keen sense of sight. They're also often associated with being able to control storms and the wind. Did you know that some people actually think that the dragon that St. George killed was actually a wyvern and not a dragon, Zephy?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, if you had to come across something like that, the last thing you were going to notice would be how many legs it has. But since we have delved deep enough into the history of the past, I think it is a good time to fast forward to the modern times. So, nowadays, dragons have made their appearance into the realms of literature, films, and video games. Dragons that you know very well. And, let's test it. J.R.R. Tolkien's Smaug in The Hobbit, and also George R.R. Martin's dragons in Game of Thrones.
Dragon.
Say it.
Don't you dare say that you've never heard of them. Fire cannot kill a dragon. I will take what is mine with fire and blood. And there you are, thief in the shadows. Even if you never watched the films or the TV shows, whatever, I don't think it's true if you're actually listening to our podcast in general. There's not a chance that you haven't heard of this dragons.
If you haven't, what are you doing here? Go watch it.
Go watch everything.
So these 2 works are the first thing that comes to mind when we say dragons. And we're not even kidding. It's not just in books that dragons have left their fiery marks, though. In blockbusters films like How to Train Your Dragon or The Chronicles of Narnia, dragons have become beloved characters in audiences of all ages. And now that I've said Narnia, give me a second. I need to get into my Yeah, that didn't work. Again. Damn it.
In video games also, though, dragons have taken on legendary status as fearsome adversaries and powerful allies, from classic RPGs like the Elder Scrolls series to our most beloved Dungeons and Dragons tabletop game. Dragons now have to deal with epic quests and high adventure. I don't think anyone can forget the mighty anthem of the Dragonborn. Dovahkiin, Dovahkiin, the chosen one, the mortal that has the soul and blood of the father of dragons and the chief of the divines. And to be fair, I think you should do a cover of the song, Zephy, now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay, noted, considered noted. But since you've mentioned music and games, one of my favorite songs that has to do with dragons comes from Final Fantasy XIV, and it's called the Dragon Song. And I love this song. I get the chills every time I listen to it, and I still remember listening to it while I was waiting to get into Nidhogg, the Dragon Trial, and I was standing before him as my character, Lovette, and it was amazing. It was such a powerful moment. But anyway, let's also not forget the countless artists, writers, and storytellers who have breathed life into these mythical creatures. So many wonderful art pieces out there by so many talented artists.
True.
Moving on, I think you have previously mentioned D&D.
I did.
And so it begins. In D&D lore, dragons are often intelligent and cunning creatures, possessing vast hoards of treasure and powerful magical abilities. They serve as powerful encounters for player characters that test the limits of their strategy and bravery. Well, could you share a bit more info about them?
Yeah, of course. So as we know, in Dungeons and Dragons, we have two kinds of dragons, as far as I'm aware. There might be people that know of more, maybe, and they're going to say in the comments that we did this wrong.
That's
but
fair. That's fair.
That's fair. It's fine. Criticism. We accept criticism.
Character development.
Yeah.
That's what I see here.
So we've got chromatic dragons, who are typically evil-aligned and ferocious. During your gameplay, you can find this type of dragons. And there are red dragons, and they're known for their fiery breath and greed, probably the most fearsome encounters in D&D. Blue dragons are known for their electrical breath and preference for desolate desert regions. Green dragons, they're my favorite, are the masters of manipulation and deception, and they're often found in the forest. Black dragons are famous for their acid breath, and they usually live in marshes. And finally, white dragons, they are ruthless predators that excel in icy environments using their freezing breath to mobilize prey.
But good news, we also have the metallic dragons, who are typically good aligned and are known for their nobility, wisdom, and sense of honor. So the 5 primary types of metallic dragons are gold dragons, who are known for their wisdom and benevolence and can be powerful allies to those who earn their trust. Silver dragons, who are known for their love of knowledge and their dedication to protecting the innocent. Bronze dragons, who are adventurous creatures that are often found near coastlines, using their lightning breath to defend their territory. Copper dragons, who are playful and mischievous, and they usually enjoy engaging in riddles and pranks with travelers who stumble into the lures. I love this kind of dragons.
Of course.
But I also love the brass dragons, who are known for their talkative nature and their love of storytelling, often entertaining visitors with tales of their travels, because they are the Bardkin of the dragons.
I like bronze dragons, to be honest.
Bronze? Really?
Yeah, I do like them for some reason. I don't know.
You're adventurous, that's why.
Maybe.
So, in addition to these primary categories, D&D lore, as Val said, includes other types of dragons, such as gem dragons, planar dragons, and dragon turtles, each with its own unique characteristics and abilities.
But every time I think of dragon turtles, I can only see the lion turtles from Avatar.
Me too. And the dragon turtle we came across. Do you remember the dragon turtle we came across in our campaign? Okay, let me remind you.
I think I do. I'm not sure, but I have a faint memory as always.
we were on a boat reaching for the shore, and the wild dragon turtle made its appearance. But we made it somehow there on the beach. Anyway.
Wait, was it the one that I was a reef shark?
Yes.
Oh, yes,
That
Sionnach turned into her first time turning into a shark.
Yes, yeah. That was
I
the first
remember it.
time. So here's a big question though. Which type are you guys? Slaying the dragons or riding them? I personally would prefer to ride them than kill them, to be honest. What about you, Val?
Well, I would never ever want to kill a dragon,
But-
even if my reputation.
But if I was Brie, my answer would be
that's
different.
Yeah, because I'm not Brianna. I'm Val, and as Val, I know that my reputation of giving the last head to dragons is otherwise, but I don't even know, to be honest, if I want to ride them. Either, I think, as I associate myself with being a druid, I'd love to transform into one. I would love that idea more than any other, I think.
Whoa, that's a good answer.
Thank you.
But even if you want to ride a dragon or be a dragon, there are many inspiring tales which speak about dragon hunting. One iconic tale comes from English legend, where the courageous St. George bravely faced the fearsome dragon to rescue a princess and save her kingdom. This story has been retold in countless variations, symbolizing the triumph of good over evil.
Well, since St. George was actually from Cappadocian and Greek descent, people find it hard to understand why he became the patron of England, and it does make sense. But according to historian Ian Mortimer, a patron sent the tree they were born in. They just needed to basically embody the characteristics the kingdom wanted to project to the outside world. So St. George stands for the courage to face evil in order to defend the innocent. So his story became popular after the Crusaders brought it back to England. Hence, he became their patron saint.
Let the librarian speak the truth, please. And I've also read something in Norse mythology about the legendary hero Sigurd, if I am saying that right, also known as, I think I'm going to kill that, Siegfried.
Siegfried, yeah, I remember that from Vikings.
Yeah, so embarked on a quest to slay the mighty dragon Fanfir and claim the treasure guarded by the beasts. His daring exploits have inspired numerous adaptations in literature and art. And let's keep moving a bit eastward. We encounter the mythological dragons of China, such as the revered Lung, who symbolizes power, prosperity, and good fortune. And the ancient Chinese epic Journey to the West features the Monkey King Sun Wukong, who confronts dragons and other mythical creatures on his epic journey.
So dragon hunting seems to be an exciting subject over the passage of years.
That's true.
But for closure, as we reflect on the enduring appeal of dragons, we are reminded of their timeless role as symbols of power, wisdom, and the eternal struggle between good and evil. Their iconic status in storytelling serves as a testament to the universal fascination with these mythical beings, inspiring countless tales of heroism, adventure, and the triumph of the human spirit.
And I would like to recite some inspirational lines that Drizzt has said about dragons from the book of Streams of Silver by R.A. Salvatore. What is love if not magic? No, I would not want to live in a world without dragons, as I would not want to live in a world without magic. For that is a world without mystery, and that is a world without faith, and that, I fear, for any reasoning, conscious being would be the cruelest trick of all. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the realm of dragon lore and mythology. We hope you've enjoyed exploring the depths of these mythical creatures as much as we have. And now we invite you to share your favorite dragons with us on social media.
And maybe the ones that we forgot to talk about.
Yes. So don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more captivating episodes filled with fantastical adventures. And we'll see you in the next one. Till then, may all your rolls be a natural 20. Bye!
Bye!